So you telling me we able to score points, huh? You telling me we gonna be able to score points this season, right? What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic, and today we're gonna talk some football. Houston Texans football. The Houston Texans got their first win of the season. They won the season opener versus the Jacksonville Jaguars, 37-21. I'm here to break it down, talk about it. Now I know y'all about to get on me because I know I normally drop the video immediately after the game. I know I'm late, I understand, but I actually had the pleasure of being at the game. I was inside NRG, rocking with the rest of the Houston Texans fan base. I was in that thing. I was in there. So because of that, I wasn't able to drop the video immediately after the game. I apologize. I'm sorry. But I'm here. Don't worry. Your boy's here to break down. Because there's a lot to break down. It's a lot to unpack because things happened in that game Sunday that were very, very interesting. I want to talk about. So like I said, let's break it down. The Houston Texans defeat the Jacksonville Jaguars 37-21. Quarterback Tyrod Taylor was 21-33 for 63.6%, had 291 yards, averaging 8.8 yards per attempt, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He was sacked one time, had a quarterback rating of 112.1. Deshaun Watson, who? No, I'm just playing. I'm playing. Running back Mark Ingram got the bulk of the carries, had 26 carries for 85 yards with a touchdown. Tyrod Taylor also scrambled as well, had for 40 yards. Philip Lindsay had 8 carries for 25 yards and a touchdown. David Johnson had 3 carries for 10 yards. Brandon Cooks was targeted 7 times, had 5 catches for 132 yards and had a big 52-yarder. Farrell Brown was targeted 5 times, had 4 catches for 67 yards, and had an amazing one-handed catch. Damian Amendola, coming off the streets, we just saw him a couple days ago, was targeted 5 times, had 5 catches for 34 yards and a touchdown. Chris Conley was targeted twice, had 2 catches for 27 yards. David Johnson was targeted 4 times, had 3 catches for 18 yards and a touchdown. Nico Collins, the rookie, was targeted 3 times, had 1 catch for 7 yards. He had one they called back. One that should have been a touchdown, but they called back in the end zone saying that he pushed off. It wasn't a push off. I just put that that Nico didn't push him off. The defense actually played well. You know, you had Hargraves and Justin Reed both had interceptions. Plus Christian Kersey, also the linebacker, had some interceptions. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars, because the number 1 pick, Trevor Lawrence, the what they call him, Sunshine from Remember the Titans, supposed to be the best thing since sliced bread, the number 1 pick in the draft. I told y'all I wasn't all that hype about Trevor Lawrence. Not saying he's gonna be trash. Just how you talking about he's this once in a generation player. He has the best grade since Andrew Luck and John Elway be coming into the draft. I did not see that coming in. I understand it's week 1. I understand it's his first ever game. I understand that. I get that, but still, had 28. Was 28 of 51 for 54 yards. He was 28 for 51 attempts with completion percentage of 54.9 for 332 yards. Only averaged 6.5 yards per attempt. Had 3 touchdowns, but also had 3 interceptions. Was sacked once and had a quarterback rating of 70.1. Carlos Hyde, the former Houston Texan, ran the ball 9 times for 44 yards. James Robinson carried the ball 5 times at 25 yards. They ran DJ Chark was targeted 12 times, had 3 catches for 86 yards and a touchdown. Jones was targeted 9 times, had 5 catches for 77 yards and a touchdown. Levinsky Shenault was targeted 9 times, had 7 catches for 50 yards. O'Shaughnessy was targeted 8 times, had 6 catches for 48 yards. And Mahenza was targeted 1 time for 1 catch for 22 yards. Story of this game: the defense came to play. I was actually impressed with this game. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I actually picked the Texans to win this game, but I'm impressed on how the Texans look. I was completely shocked about the Texans look because the Houston Texans were a 3-point underdog. Jacksonville was the favorite in this game by 3 points. Now, anybody who knows anything about point spreads and favorites is that you get 3 points for being at home. So which means on a neutral site, they saying Jacksonville was a 6-point favorite, which means in Jacksonville, they would have been anywhere from a 9 to a 9.5 point favorite. That's absurd when you're talking about a rookie head coach in Urban Meyer and a rookie quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. Remember, this team had the worst record in the NFL last year. That's why they had the #1 pick. So for them to, without playing the game, to be basically a 9-point favorite above a team, because on the road, that's basically what it means when you're a 3-point favorite on the road. Basically saying if they was at home, they're a 9 to 9.5 point favorite, is absurd. And then sidebar, this whole thing about now Urban Meyer might be questioning if he needs to stay in the NFL and he might go to USC. All this after one game, because it was a 37 to 24 point loss, 21 point loss, even though it really was 37 to 14 because Jacksonville scored that last touchdown with 5 seconds left to go in the game. But whatever. Does this mean if Urban Meyer quits? Does this mean that David Culley retired Urban Meyer? Let me know. Does that mean that we say that Urban Meyer got retired by David Culley if Urban Meyer decides he don't want to coach no more? If he decides he don't want to coach Jacksonville no more, he wants to lead the NFL. The NFL ain't what he thought. Does that mean that David Culley actually retired Urban Meyer? Let me know if that's what that means. Let me know. Comment in the section. Let me know if that's what it means. But anyway, sidebar. I was going off on a tangent. There's no way that they should be there because, like I said, like I told people going into this game, we're not going to this game, but going into the season about the whole Trevor Lawrence thing. And I wasn't really all that impressed. When I watched this pro day, some things jumped off to me, and those things kind of rang true in the game. In the pro day, when he was, drop back and set his feet and deliver the football, he looked good. But when he would roll out and do other things and be on the move, his passes didn't look natural. His mechanics didn't look natural to me. They looked clunky. They didn't look right to me. And I was like, that's against air. Imagine how that's going to look when you have defenses, you reading coverages, and you have 350 pound men chasing you, trying to hit you, and you're trying to get away from them. That's not going to come across very well in the NFL. It's not designed wide open and spread plays like it is in Clemson when you talk about NFL. Those windows get tighter, things of that nature. I kind of saw those kind of concerns, and I think they're going to be able to clean some things up. I think because Trevor Lawrence is talented. One, he found the holes in the zone. I'm not going to slip in that stupid. He found the holes in the zone, but a lot of those interceptions that he had were because of that. A lot of his bad throws, and not even just interceptions. He just had bad throws. He threw 54%. Not even 55. He threw 54%. That's not good. In NFL, in college, in high school, in Pee-wee, and that's not good. You should be throwing 54%. That's not a good percentage from a quarterback when you know the play. That's not a good percentage. To me, he looked like a combination of Osweiler and Ron Mallett. He looked like Osweiler with the clunky mechanics, but had the arm strength of Ron Mallett throwing balls in the dirt. He threw a lot of balls in the dirt. Yes, he threw 3 picks. He should have threw 5 or 6 because I know Justin Reed dropped one. Mitchell dropped one or didn't get his head around. And there was another one I think maybe it went through a linebacker's hand or whatever. And again, you're gonna have those in the game, but when it comes, he should be leading the NFL in turnover worthy plays because all 3 of his interceptions were not good passes decisions, and then the ones that he didn't have, just turnover-worthy plays. He should be leading the NFL in turnover-worthy plays. I'm very impressed with the defense. The defensive front was able to get pressure with 4. It was very impressive. I think one thing that jumped off the page to me, absolutely, is that this team under Tim Kelly, but under David Culley, is way more coached, way better because Bashley improved and way better coach than any time with Bill O'Brien. Part of the reason why I'm gonna give you an example. There was a play right before halftime. Well, the drive right before halftime. The Texans were up 17 to 7. They kick a field goal. I think this was after the Hargraves interception. They kick a field goal. They kick a field goal. They go up 20 to 7. With like 2 minutes left to go in the game, 1 minute left to go, 1 minute some change left to go in the game. Jacksonville gets the ball. They go on the 3 and out. The Texans get the ball back with a minute left in the game, a minute left in the half rather. And what they do, He throws that 52-yarder to Brandon Cooks, gets in the range, and then throws the touchdown to Damian Dola and made it 27-7 going to halftime. The kill shot. I believe that was the kill shot. That's something that they've never done with Bill O'Brien. Never. And Bill O'Brien has had Deshaun Watson. No matter if the Bill O'Brien had Deshaun Watson, Hopkins, and Will Fuller. No matter if he was having Ryan Mallett and Brian Hoyer, who know his system back in New England. No matter if he had a guy who's a smart quarterback like Ryan Fitzpatrick. No matter if it's his hand-picked guy he had with Tom Savage, or the guy they signed, they gave $72 million to in Brock Osweiler. If that was any of those quarterbacks with Bill O'Brien in that situation, when the Texans would have got the ball back, they would have ran the ball at the middle, or they would have needed and went to halftime only up 20-7. But David Culley and Tim Kelly and what was his name? Is it Pat Heyman? I forgot what the guy they got from the Chargers. What they did is, like they said, no, we're gonna put our foot on their neck and we're gonna end this game. And that right there deserves a round of applause. That right there is, so, okay, this is not the same old Texans that we've been used to. This is a little bit more present. This is a better coaching staff. It also, this right here shows you that, because even with somebody like Deshaun Watson, I'm going to get to that in a minute as well, with Deshaun Watson, Hopkins, and Will Fuller, and all the other talent that we had offensively on this team, we never did anything like that going into a game. We never put our foot. That's one of the complaint. That's why we always let teams come back on us in the game. We never put our foot down their throat, even though we did allow them to make the game look somewhat pretty with them scoring 21 points when, like I said, the real score of the game should have been 37-14. But one of the touchdowns that they had was like the last touchdown they got was with 5 seconds left to go in the game. And to be honest, even the one that DJ Chark was probably Trevor Lawrence's best pass of the game, the 41-yarder. It was 34-7 with a minute left in the third when he threw that touchdown. But he said a whole quarter. But it was they were completely getting their ass whooped. And this is probably, I think, in my opinion, because I'm glad I actually was able to go to the game. But I'm glad that I was able to see this in person, because I believe, because this is the first time I've ever been inside a season. I've never been to a season opener. I've been to a Texas game before, but I've never been to a season opener. And I believe that this might be probably the third most impressive season opener. Obviously, the best season opener would be the first game ever played, the first game ever against Dallas, the 19-10 game, because the first game ever. And then after that, I think it would be the game against the Colts when in 2010 when Arian Foster emerged on the scene and rushed for over 200 yards. You beat Peyton Manning at home. Those two are 1 and 2. This, because like I say, the way that they were the underdog, and then how they just came out the gate. The game was never close. The closest the game was 14-7, and then the Texans just completely the Texans never trailed in this game. And also the Texans, like I said, they had 3 turnovers. They forced 3 turnovers. They had 9 turnovers total all last year, and only 3 interceptions. They had 3 interceptions in yesterday's game. That right there shows you that they're, I think, better coach, and they're somewhat improved. Now, do I believe this is something that's sustained? Be honest with you, no. I believe this is a very fugazi win, to be honest with you. Like, I know people, we about to win the division. Hold your brakes. Stop. Stop. It is Jacksonville. Like I said, the team who had the number 1 pick in the draft last year. It is them. So I'm not going to sit up here and act like, okay, the Texans are about to go on this tangent and they about to just go back to win the AFC South. No. I still think this is still one of the worst teams in the NFL, and they're probably going to be having a top 10 pick. I think the Texans are still like that. But I'm happy that the game I happened to be in, they actually were impressive and they played the way they played, and I'm proud of them in that game, in that instance. Now, back to me going to the game. I know people have been talking about the way the ticket sales have been, because the Texans have been doing a lot. They've been making no bones about it. People have not been renewing their season tickets. They've been doing all type of specials. I heard a special they're doing 4 tickets with parking passes and pizza, giving you 4 pizzas and 4 drinks, all for under $200. When tickets by themselves Just the ticket by themselves will cost over $300, and they giving you parking passes, they giving you pizzas, they giving you drinks. They're doing all this because they can't get nobody in the stands. That's one of the reasons why I want to go. I want to judge and judge the temperature of the fan base. And no, it was not packed, not in the slightest, but it was more people than I thought was going to be there. It was way more people in the tailgates and inside the stadium than I thought they would be there. I'm very surprised. But what it was it nowhere near how NRG normally would be, how NRG should be, how they would normally be. It was nowhere near that. But it was better than I thought from a crowd standpoint. Now, in saying that, being in the crowd, another thing I wanted to judge is how the fan base felt about number 4, Deshaun Watson. And when I was in there, the overwhelming favorite of the jerseys that I seen in that stadium was Deshaun Watson. I seen a couple of JJs here and there. Seen a couple of Andres. I was wearing the Andre. I seen a couple of Andres. Seen some Fosters. I don't really remember seeing any Hopkins. Not saying there was no Hopkins. I just don't remember seeing any. And I even seen the Osweiler. But it was clear as day. The number 1 jersey that I seen was Deshaun Watson. I seen a lot of black guys wearing Deshaun Watson. That's cool. I understood. They know black quarterback, first black quarterback for the Houston Texans as far as a draft pick. I get it. Everybody liked Deshaun Watson. People liked him from Clemson. So I wasn't surprised that I seen black guys wearing Deshaun Watson. But I seen black guys wearing Deshaun Watson jerseys, black women wearing Deshaun Watson jerseys, white guys, white women, Hispanic guys, Hispanic women, and all type of kids. All kids. Either had on Deshaun Watson jerseys or the Deshaun Watson shirts. You know, the shirts that are made like they got Houston Texans on it, and on the back got their number and their name. That's what I seen across the whole stadium. That's the majority of what I seen. From the battle red, from the Liberty white, from the deep steel blue was Deshaun Watson jerseys. And I'm like, that just basically sums up for me. If Deshaun Watson would have came walking out that stadium, they would have erupted. Deshaun Watson would went up there and threw a touchdown, they would have erupted. The fan base ain't stupid. They know that he will give you the best chance to win. So I want to gauge that. Now I want to see exactly that. Even though Tyrod Taylor did his best Deshaun Watson impressions, the way he was running out of the pocket, and he had a lot of shifty moves. Like Tyrod Taylor played well. Tyrod played well enough to win the game. Tyrod Taylor played well enough that you might be able to get some wins, and they might not be tanking the way that it suggests, you know, the moment when they traded away Bradley Roby, even though Bradley Roby wasn't going to be playing, because I'm like, okay, I felt this team was going to win 4 games. I felt they're going to beat Jacksonville anyway, but I felt this team was going to win 3 to 4 games and have either the number 1 or the number 2 pick in the draft. That's why I believe going into this game. Now, I'm not backing off that stance outside of my fear is that maybe they might stumble into another game or 2, and instead of picking 2nd, end up picking 10th or end up picking 13th, something along that nature. And then it depends on what you're able to do with Deshaun Watson and Brandon Cooks for that matter, because that's really when I was watching Brandon Cooks, I thought Brandon Cooks was impressive, and I'm like, okay, keep running that trade value up, because that might be what you might end up have to do to acquire more draft capital to rebuild. That might be what you might have to do. But I'm not going to sit up here. I know a lot of people want to be hyped, and I get it. Hey, you want to believe in your team. And, hey, the Texans played well. It was a very impressive game from top to bottom. Defensively, offensively, they all played well. I really don't have really too many complaints outside of why is Rex Burkhead on this team? Because it's clear is Mark Ingram just started, and you're going to use Phillips out. Also, that's another thing. I like the whole a direct snap to Mark Ingram, and then they gave the ball to Philip Lindsay. That's something we didn't do with Bill O'Brien. It was a lot of play calls that I seen that we normally wouldn't do. And also, I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised as much downfield that they threw with a quarterback like Tyrod Taylor. Even though I know they got Brandon Cooks, I didn't think they were gonna be trying to do some big chunk plays. Like the one play that he kind of pulled the Hopkins when he first got into the red zone, when he first caught the pass went up and snapped over the defender in the first half, right for the first touchdown. Now I was surprised about that. Then it was two other times that Tyrod Taylor threw the ball downfield, and also the broken play where he had the 29-yard scramble, and then got the unnecessary roughness penalty afterwards. That got attacked on. Like I was impressed on some of the play call, and like I said, the thing that's probably the most impressive about this team and offensively is that they kept their foot on their neck. It's probably, when's the last time we seen a strong win like this? I would say the Thanksgiving game against the Lions. But outside that, probably maybe the Patriot game on Sunday night back in 2019. That's the last time they were really clicking on all cylinders type situation. But it was very impressive to see. Now the Houston Texans are in sole place of the AFC South. The only time, the last time was when they won the division back in 2019. They was never ever not even tied for first place last year. Outside of when the season started, nobody played the game. So once the season started, they were never even tied for first place last year, and now they are in the only position in the first place. And I ain't gonna lie, I mean, the Colts got the Rams, the Titans got Seattle, the Jacksonville got Denver. I can see even if the Texans lose to Cleveland, which more likely, which I think will happen, the Texans still might lead the division at 1-1, and everybody else is 0-2. So I guess that's some reason for optimism. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't, comment below if you haven't, click that bell, get more videos. I'm holla.